a very interesting turn of events happened regarding the murder of Sonya Massey recently. Now, if you don't know who that is, I will enlighten you. Sonya Massey was a 36-year-old black woman who called the cops about a possible prowler slash intruder in or around her house. And so, deputies showed up, Sean Grayson being in attendance with them, of course, and they searched the exterior. I believe didn't find anything. They came inside of her home and then asked for her ID. And things got weird when she was searching for it, and she took a pot of boiling water off of the stove. At some point, I believe she said, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." And then Sean Grayson told her and threatened her to shoot her in her effing face, if I'm not mistaken. And she promptly apologized, and tried to hide, but was still shot 3 times and killed. And for that, Sean Grayson, he was the one who pulled the trigger. They have body cam footage and all of that. For that, Sean Grayson, who is 32, was sentenced to 20 years in prison with second-degree murder, which would honestly be the rest of his usable years. Like when you're 52, you're not as youthful. You can't do as much. A lot of opportunities are also violent felony being on your record. It limits a lot of things that you can do at that point. And so, more or less, someone would probably say, being sentenced to 20 years for second degree murder, his life was over. And interestingly enough, Sean Grayson is no longer on this planet with us. He has died in prison. And it's a very just, interesting, like I said, event. Now, I'm not going to say, where he went as a mortal. I can say on my behalf, but that's got to be between him and whatever Lord he serves. But just off of everything that happened, him murdering an innocent woman, I'm just going to say, based off of what I were sent him, is getting pretty hot for him. But yes, he is no longer with us on this earth. So pretty much what happened was last year, while he was going to trial for the murder of Sonya Massey, he was dealing with stage 3 cancer. And so in that time, after being sentenced, it progressed into stage 4. It started to affect more of his organs. I know his liver, I believe some, his lower region and stuff like that. And so, he was probably in excruciating pain to the point where he even asked for a medical release under, the Illinois law, but he was denied. And, based off of everything that happened, I see the reason for the denial of his medical release, right? Because I was thinking about this myself. The prison system and the kind of the systems of this world is they try to use us for everything possible. And if you are not usable, then what use do we have for you? And so someone dealing with stage 4 cancer, the prison system wouldn't have a lot of use, but also you did, get 20 years. So why would we let you free when you haven't even served one? Now, not to make light of someone dying, but at the same time, this man is a murderer. I thought that Sonya Massey had steppers. I'm not gonna lie. I thought that he was killed by someone in prison for killing her. But that is not the case. He died of more or less natural causes, which I guess you would say that karma, in a way. You reap what you sow. Because, again, your last days are sit in probably like a 6x6 box in pain. Your body is literally killing you slowly. You've tried to get out. The court said, nah, you're a murderer. Stay in there. And that's what you have to deal with. And all of this could have been avoided if you didn't pull that trigger 3 times. You probably would have been able to, go and get treatment for your stage 1, stage 2, or stage 3. I don't know if stage 3 is curable or not. I haven't done too much research into cancer. I know that stage 4 is terminal at that point. But, you could have been getting treatment for your cancer and it probably would have regressed. You would have probably, beat it and lived a normal, natural life. But due to the consequences of your actions, You were dealing with the trial of murdering Sonya Massey, and then you were sentenced and had to sit in a box as it progressed and slowly killed you. So again, consequences of your actions. You could have just been a legit cop, a good cop, if you will, and you would probably still be alive to this day. And I'm not talking down to him. I'm just talking about the situation for any other cops out there. You don't know where your life or what kind of turn your life could take and the repercussions of you doing something so unjust, you know? But I saw that this came down my timeline and I just, never forgot Sonya Massey. I watched the video. It was terrible. It was terrible. And so again, I don't know if this is karma. I don't know if this is God, but it is a interesting situation. And I will say that Sean Grayson's death by some is being celebrated. And while I won't celebrate, I won't be mad at them for celebrating. Because at the end of the day, murderers, rapists, pedophiles, their deaths are a good thing. Every death of a rapist or a pedophile is healing the planet. I don't care what anyone says. But yeah, I just saw this come up and I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to kind of, just re-jog people's memory for whatever it's worth. Um, yeah,